Now you've seen our launch coverage of the new BYD Atto 3, now it's time to test drive it. But before we get behind the wheel, let's talk a little bit about what lies under the skin. Now underneath the newly launched BYD Atto 3 is this platform. Now this is a modular platform that is shared with other BYD vehicles, and you can see here all of the integrated power systems, including the electric powertrain, the modules, as well as the rear powertrain system. That's just to show the modularity of this platform. Now the most important component, it actually sits here. This is the cell-to-body module in the middle, where you can actually see the BYD Blade batteries. Now for the BYD Atto, they come either a standard or extended range, where you have either 49.92 kilowatt hours for the standard or 60.48 for the extended. Now based on the NEDC range, that will give you either 410 or 480 kilometers on a single charge, with the ability to charge between 70 to 80 kilowatts DC or 7.4 kilowatts AC. Now the thing about this platform is, like many electric vehicles, it is modular. That means it can be stretched, it can be raised, it can be lowered, you can add modules, you can reduce from it. Like in the case of the BYD Atto 3, there is no rear drive module, so it's just in the front. Most importantly, it means that all of these components are shared, which is why the BYD Atto 3 and its siblings will be arriving in Malaysia with very attractive prices. So now that you know what powers the Atto 3, I guess without any further ado, it's time to get behind the wheel. Okay, so now we are behind the wheel of the Atto 3. Now we have a very short course where we'll be able to test the acceleration, the braking, and a slalom test. So this should be rather interesting. So first is the power test. We'll be able to go 0 to 100 or to 0 to as far as we want before we have to try braking up ahead. So, are you ready? Because I'm not. And there's a hand here. And 3, 2, 1. There's a lot of wheel spin from these Atlas tires. They certainly don't inspire confidence, I'll say that much. There are some cement patches. There's 106 kilometers, 120. It's quite quiet, this thing. And now we brake on cement. Okay. The braking in this car is quite reassuring. The beeping that you're hearing is the sound of the emergency stop signal. One of these things does that. Anyway, so that was the acceleration test, which I think is quite impressive if you ask me. And honestly, I think that this is not bad for an electric car. But we'll just see.
Okay, very good. Just play with the system. Hang on while we're waiting for finish.
And now is the slalom test, which we are going to do at 70 kilometers an hour. That's 70, left. Okay, that's quite steady. Right, and then left. So this car is quite softly sprung. That much is quite clear. But it's certainly enough to give you a sense or an idea of just how these cars are tuned. They are towards comfort, not so much towards dynamics.
Very good. Car 3, move to your left. You can cut out towards the left.
These cars are tuned more towards comfort rather than dynamics, and I think that that would be
to your left.
That would be a rather good setting for a car like this. And I think that urban buyers will certainly be very happy in a BYD, especially with the range on offer, which means even if you don't have charging facilities at home, you should still be able to run 3 or 4 days between charges. And given that this car rapid charges at up to 80 kilowatts, be quiet, the car is talking to me. How do I make shut up? So, like I said, you should be able to go 3 or 4 days between charges, and with an 80 kilowatt charger on this extended model, it does mean that it should take about 30 to 50 minutes on an 80 kilowatt charger to rejuice this thing, which I think is not that bad. I think Sime Darby has certainly brought in a competent city car. I would be a bit scared to try and take this car over a long distance because I don't necessarily trust the NEDC cycle that it claims. One of these things switches it off. But I think overall, this is a pretty good package for under 170,000 ringgit. So that was our quick test drive with the BYD Atto 3. Yes, it was a very short drive, admittedly, but at least we understood the dynamics that this car has to offer, if any at all. Now, would I recommend this? Absolutely. And if you want to know more about the BYD Atto 3, be sure to check out our walk around video, which is linked up here. But otherwise, that's that. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.